Hi, it's Michael. I thought we should talk about the head cork, because if it's not installed correctly, it can cause some trouble, because it has an influence on your intonation and also the overall response of the flute. The response of the flute is more like when it's leaking, then you will notice. I want to bring your attention to some other issues. First thing is, of course, it should be in the right place. And the right place is 17.3 millimeters from the middle of the embouchure hole. And you can see that when you check your rod. On your rod you have a mark here, which is 17.3 millimeters from the tip. Put your rod into the head joint and then you can see if it's in the correct place. If not, if you want to move it in that direction, you just tighten the crown. If you want to move it in that direction, you loosen it and push a bit. Then you can see it moves. So also when you want to check it, you just loosen the crown and push. Loosen a bit more, push. Then you take the rod and take it out. Like this. What I think, if you have a student model, often they don't really fixate the cork properly. It can be loose, like in this one, which is a new cork. And what can happen is that when you turn the crown and the cork is in the tube, the cork actually doesn't move in the tube then, but when you turn the crown, you see what happens. The stud moves out. So and that causes problems, because what happens is you have a gap here and there will be turbulence, like air is coming in here and it's creating turbulence, because the bottom plate doesn't seal off the flute, it's a cork which does. So this one here, because the tubes are different, so there's always some space between the bottom plate and the tube. So this turbulence can create problems. Like, I will tell you a story. One of my students called me and said, my flute doesn't work. I can't play high notes. What? Impossible, what I thought. She came to the lesson, I checked her flute and I checked it with my head joint first. And it worked fine. So I said, okay, give me your head joint, I check it. So I took out the head cork and there was this gap. So I fixed it, put it back, tightened the top plate, and then her high notes worked again. When I checked all our older student model flutes, I found that in more than 1/3 of them, there were issues with the cork. Also like this one, was the same problem actually. So this is like this Japanese famous brand, which starts with Ja and ends with Ha. Yaha. And what you need to do is, if your cork is loose, just put some glue. Apply some glue on the bottom end of the cork, in the hole and a little around it. Put the cork and the top plate back on the stud and tighten the top plate. Install the cork after the glue is dry. With that done, the bottom plate will never move away from the cork again. What also can happen is that your cork is too dry. Maybe you didn't practice too much, so it needs to swell a bit. What you can do then is you take the cork, glass of water, put it there overnight. So next day it will probably fit better. Also tighten the top plate properly. So that also makes it swell a bit. And then put it back in the tube. One more thing, if you think your crown is a bit too loose, this can be in some inexpensive flutes that is not well made, or the stud could even be too short. Then just take some nail polish and put it on the tip of the stud like this and tighten the crown. That usually works. You can also use crude linseed oil. I use that to fix screws. This will work fine. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.